Hello, this is Linda Asimole Ella of The Living Woman. I'm glad to be with you today and I invite you to share, to like, comment, make comments down below about our topic, the topics we discuss, and also subscribe to this channel. And so you will have the opportunity to have us discuss issues that relate to our families, to marriage, to the society, and just how we can make all this better for the future generation. Under this topic, understanding masculinity, today we want to look at first, what do we understand by masculinity? Secondly, what does culture, society, and patriarchy teach us or teach male figures about themselves? And we'll also look at what success is and what success is not in terms of masculinity. And then we'll also look at positive masculinity that is positive, that is transformative, empowering, and has a role in influencing and being a model for future generations. Finally, we'll look at the female gender. What's her role in influencing positive masculinity? Like we all know, everyone has a male figure in her life, in his life. You either have a husband, a brother, a son, a brother-in-law, a grandfather, just name it. There's always a male figure in your life, apart from yourself, of course. So, what do we understand by masculinity? Masculinity is how society, how you and I, how the male figure is understood, how the male figure is perceived. Masculinity is about the attributes, the expectations, and the qualities that are characteristics of a man. Then, what are those little innuendos, statements, unconscious understanding, biases that we have regarding men? What are those things that culture, society, and patriarchy has taught men about themselves or has taught us about men? So, in looking at a list of these, you might agree with some of them might be positive or towards the negative side, some might be statements we've heard, some are unconscious behaviors we have, unconscious tendencies that we have. But nonetheless, you can also add yours, but just to help us understand that there are certain values or certain ways of thinking that we have been taught about men. And what are some of these? For example, that real men love their partners, okay? That real men are breadwinners of their homes. That men should not cry. That men are strong and protective of their wives or of their girlfriends. That a man can cheat. It is his nature to cheat. That as a man, you are supposed to keep your woman in line. Have you heard that one before? As a man, that you are supposed to don't take no for an answer. That as a man, you're supposed to sit down and just let a woman serve you. That a man has the permission to be violent, but not a woman. Or as a man, you must be rich and prosperous. Or as a man, only men can inherit wealth from the family or from their parents. And so there are a lot of those kind of societal behaviors, expectations, cultural practices, and understanding that we have as a people. You can also add yours. But then moving on from there, how do we want the masculine gender to be? Before we go into that, there is this issue of a man must be successful. For this to be positive, we need to redefine what success means for a man. We would say that success is not just being physically strong or financially strong. That's not enough. He might be physically strong and certainly not financially strong. Does that mean the man is unsuccessful? Success is not altering figures on paper so as to have more money in your bank account. You know what I mean? When you get into those fraudulent practices of all kinds, you go into contracts primarily with the aim of feeding your own pockets, your own personal interest, or making your cronies happy rather than really focusing on what the project or the contract is about and helping the recipients of that project to be happy and have their needs or wants met, as the case may be. Success is not killing or injuring your opponents in order to be powerful or to be in control. In fact, success is not anything that boosts your ego just for the sake of it. Rather, we want to redefine success as being empathetic. Yes, as a man, don't be afraid to be empathetic. Being kind, being focused, pursuing your goals and dreams, but in ways that will not encroach on other people's the common interest of others, in ways that will not jeopardize the general or common good. So, with this, we hope we have redefined success for you as a man. And moving on, we want to also look at how can we develop understanding of masculinity, a masculinity that is positive, that is transformational, that is empowering, and is a role model in influencing future generations, especially boys, and building children of the future who can also add value into the world they have come into. So how can we do this? Let's look at the positive areas of being a masculine, of being a male. A loving father who is there for his children, there for his wife, not just a head of the household who goes and comes as he wills, or when the vehicle is coming in or we know that is coming, everybody's running helter-skelter to hide or to start looking like they're behaving well. But really a loving father who is able to take the hands of his daughter, of his son, and walk them through life. Then also a male figure who is indeed a family builder, a community builder. Not an absentee dad, not an absentee brother, absentee father, but there to build his family, build his community and his society. Not a male figure that is a philanthropist out there, a millionaire out there, but the family does not feel his presence, his impact, and his support. So we also need a male figure who is a leader, who leads, inspires, and is respectful of others, is respectful of both genders. And we can also wish to have a male figure who uses his positive, the physical build to protect women. He doesn't use his physical build to hit a woman, to rape children, to rape girls, to rape women. No. His physical build is used even in the home. He doesn't sit down and wait for his sisters or his wife or his mother to do those difficult and physically challenging tasks while he just sits there and watch them. He's able to lend a hand and assist with those really physically challenging tasks. Positive masculinity also means being a role model and achieve goals, be an example to the next generation. It's amazing that we indeed can have men around us, husbands, brothers, grandfathers, dads, and all male figures in our lives who can contribute to our lives and to society, to their families positively. And I want to salute those who are making so much effort in this regard. Some are really sacrificing themselves, really putting in their best into their families. We indeed recognize and salute you. So the last part of our presentation will be on how we as women, as females, can indeed play a role in influencing that positive masculinity. We can play a role, and how can we do this? We can do this in various ways. As a woman, be sure that you do not treat your male and female children differently. It's not about treating the male with a laissez-faire upbringing or laissez-faire manner. He, like the female, needs to be guided and taught values, principles, and the need to respect everyone equally. Secondly, it is important for you and I as females, as women, to check our tendency of feeling inferior when dealing with a man. And why do you need to check this? Because as a mother or as a wife, you're going to pass this on to your daughter. She too will perceive this and will also imbibe that attitude of always feeling inferior to a man. So this means that you and I as a female, we need to be growing our confidence and relating with the male figures in our lives from a place of strength, a place of inner strength, a place of knowledge of our values and knowledge of our worth. And why is this important? Because the attitude with which you relate with the male figures in your life would either encourage them to keep doing what they're doing. And by this I mean that when you have an attitude of self-confidence, of knowing your worth, then you encourage the male figures in your life to also take you as a person of value and a person of worth. If it's otherwise, you are looking down at yourself, then you are propagating the tendency of that man. That is, if he's already like that, you are propagating encouraging his tendency to see you as a woman who is not valuable or who is just worthless. So as a woman too, the fourth point and final point is be respectful, loving, and patient with the male figures in your life. Many times we have ideas and things we want to push for, but one thing that has worked for me and continues to work for me is let things be. But be sure to protect yourself, take care of yourself, ensure that you're safe. There is no need to be too anxious over the behavior of another person, because you can only control your own behavior. Ensure that you protect yourself, you take care of yourself, you live and create a safe environment for yourself. But when you desire something and it's in the hands of someone else, just take it easy. Be patient, be loving, be respectful of that man. But in the light of this is not to say that any form of violence, that I always say, no form of violence can be excused, can be condoned. But rather, we can be accepting of others, of their weaknesses, and let's grow together, let's learn from one another.